and welcome to Magical Creatures Week. I want to read book with magical creatures this week, obviously, and this contains Lover Revealed by J.A. Ward, the fourth book in the Blackdagger Brotherhood series. This is a story about Marissa and Butch, and the main plot, the fight good against evil, so the vampires against the lesser, the organization that wants to destroy the vampires. And I can't wait to read the story, and I already started the first half of Lover Revealed. I've read a little bit over 100 pages, and I have to say I'm a little bit annoyed by the start of the story. Not because I hate the story, but because it is one of my least favorite tropes, miscommunication, and there is so much miscommunication between Marissa and Butch, and they just have to sit down and talk to each other to find a solution for these problems and to be together because they have feelings for each other. So we will see about that. There is already a lot going on here. Butch was kidnapped and tortured, and he was almost dead, and Marissa's voice saved his life and held him in this world. So I hope they will now talk soon and can work on their problems, on their communication problems. We will see. And a book I want also to read this week, or at least start, is Munro by Kresley Cole, the, in German, newest part of the Immortals After Dark series. It is book 17 of the series, and in English another part is already out, and book 19 will be published in December. And I don't know if that's the last book of the series, but it is the last one until now. So I will continue that series, hopefully this week. And yeah, I will give you an update when I can tell you more. And here I am again. I finished Lover Revealed Part 1, and I'm very annoyed and frustrated by this book because there is so much miscommunication. I can't believe it. It is one of my least favorite tropes, besides accidental pregnancy and cheating. And yeah, I'm very frustrated by it, especially by the ending of part 1. And I really debated to open the window and throw this book out. But I know we will get a happy end in the end. So I'm okay with it. And what I really love about Butch and Marissa's story is Butch's character development in the story. That is so important for the general plot that goes over all books in the series. And I can't wait to read more, and can't wait that things are revealed that started here. I didn't told you that in the last clip, but Butch and Marissa's story is also a reread of this series. I've read the first 9.5 books in the past and gave up by a certain story because that story annoyed me. But I want to continue the series now, starting from the first book on, and want to finish this series. So the next book I'm reading is Lover Revealed Part 2. I will start this after I film this clip, and I made a poll on Instagram before that, which book I should start today. This was one option, and this one, and the other option was Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, where I want to read the first 100 pages this week. So that I will probably do tomorrow on Friday. But that's it for that. And you maybe wondered about the quality of the video that changed to the last videos that I posted here. And that is because I bought myself a new toy, a camera for filming. And I have filmed before with my phone here because this is a new hobby and I wanted to try it out before I invest in this hobby. A camera is not cheap, and this one especially is a special vlogging camera, or the camera that was best for vlogging. I need to try this out now. Different modes, different qualities on this camera, but I'm very happy with it. I edited the first clip yesterday for this video to see the quality changes, and I'm very happy about it. So stay tuned and I will update you on my next read. I'm back with another update, and that means I finished Lover Revealed Part 2, so the whole story about Butch and Marissa. And surprisingly, I have to say that this is for me the weakest story so far out of the series. Surprisingly, because my feeling said I really loved the story the first time, so a few years ago, but it is the weakest for me now because the romance is really annoying to me, because there is so much miscommunication throughout the whole story, and I can't handle that. Because please just talk to each other. It is not that hard. Please talk about what's going on in your head and the problems you have with certain situations, and that would make this so much easier. But I really love the character development for Butch in the story and for the whole plot for the whole series. I think I said that before for the update for part 1. But the character development continues in part 2, and I really love what happened here for the plot in general, for the whole series, and I can't wait to read more. I think the next story is the story of Vicious, and I don't remember the name of the other character, but we will see. I really hoped sometimes in this story that they could have a happy end as a threesome. But no, it is only Butch and Marissa in the end. That's what I'm telling you. But I can't wait to read more, and we'll be doing that in November. I'm waiting now for Maren to read Butch and Marissa's story and see what she thinks, because she hasn't started yet, and we said one story per month, so she will be reading it in the next few days and I will talk to her about the story. But for me that means I can now switch to Munro by Christy Cole. And as you can see, I already started this morning and read the first 38 pages. I can say it is a little bit hard to dive back into this whole world without rereading at least the last 2 books. But I think I will get over that in the next 60 pages or so. And the only thing that I remember from book 15 was that in the end Munro was held hostage or something like that, and we started exactly with this situation, that he is tortured and things like that. And we also met his soulmate. I don't know which term is used in the English version. There's already a lot going on in 40 pages and I can't wait to read more, which I will do later today. And an update that I can also give you is new books that arrived this week. And the first one is the German version of A Thousand Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole. This is the second book to A Thousand Boy Kisses, and this is now the story of Poppy's little sister. So I will definitely prepare a big pack of tissues here before I read that, because A Thousand Boy Kisses was the book where I cried the most. So much that I had a headache after reading, and I'm a little bit scared by this book, but I also can't wait to read it and dive back into this world. And as I said, the most important part is that I prepared a big pack of tissues. And I also got a present from Lisa for pre-editing her book that will be published next year. So I do an unofficial editing round before the official editing by the publisher. And over the last 2 weeks I've read the first 140 pages of her book. And you can see here what I did, how the document looks now, and we discussed a lot over the story and the ideas and how we can get the best out of it. So Lisa has now a lot to do before I continue editing. And as a thank you for that, she sent me the first box set of the Stormlight Archives. So I'm now prepared for more Brandon Sanderson in my Cosmere read. And I can't wait to read this. This box is over 2,500 pages to read. It is a lot. I'm a little bit intimidated, I won't lie. But also I can't wait to read this. And at this point I'm reading Warbreaker in the Cosmic Universe. The next one is Dress of the Emerald Sea. And in the reading order Brandon Sanderson himself suggested at the beginning of this year, after Dress of Emerald Sea, it is then The Way of Kings, probably at the end of December for me or the start of January. We will see how fast I am, and I will need a lot of time for this because I want to read around 100 pages per week, so I will need over a year to read the first 4 Stormlight Archives, and the 5th one will be published now in December, so I will read probably 15-16 months alone on this series. And I also have the Secret Project and the second era of Mistborn in front of me, so a lot to read here, but I am excited. And now that I've made this update, I can go back to reading. I don't know what happened here, but I got a few new books this week. I got a few books gifted by a friend, by Lisa, for unofficially editing her book. The first one is Bride by Ellie Hazelwood. It was on my wish list now for a long time. The next one is Corrupt by Penelope Douglas, because I know Lisa loved the series and I should try it now too. So we will see how that goes and if it's my kind of dark romance. And as we speak about dark romance, I wished for Lights Out by Navessa Allen, because I saw that on TikTok and the story really intrigued me, so I can't wait to read that soon. And the last book I got from Lisa is The Crimson Moss by Kristen Ciccarelli. It is the first part of a duology and a really hyped new fantasy romantic fantasy series, something like that, and I only heard good things about this on BookTube, so I can't wait to read that too. The alternative title is Heartless Hunter, if you know it by that, but I got it under Crimson Moth and I have book 2 already on my wish list, so hopefully I will read book 1 too to see if I really want book 2. And I got myself something. The first book of that is already on my November TBR and I want to make a special video about it, which gives you a hint. It is The Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac series by Susan Valenti and Caroline Peckham. All 5 books of this dark romantic fantasy series. And as I said, I will start that now in November. And yeah, 9 new books added to my TBR. Not for November, but in general. And with that, I will go back reading, because I'm now 100 pages into Munro and the story is intriguing me so far. It is a perfect enemies to lovers, but especially Munro's POVs are very sexual oriented, and he thinks a lot about that our female main character Karani is his and I own her and she's mine and I want to fuck her and she's so sexy and all this kind. That is what I doesn't like so much so far, but I've only read 20% so far, so still a lot to go and for the story to develop. I said before that it is a little bit difficult to find back into the story after all this time and to get the whole main plot throughout the books. And yes, I stay with it. I don't remember especially what happened in the last 2 books that are relevant for the story, but it doesn't matter really much because this focuses very much on the romance between Munro and Kirani, and I can live with that and will continue now over the weekend and give you another update. I'm back from my weekend trip to Hamburg and I finished Munro by Chrisley Cole, and it is a 3-star read for me because I really enjoyed the main plot of the story, and throughout the whole series, even if I don't remember everything from the previous books because I've read them 2 or 3 years before, or much longer than this, I don't know, but I read now book 17 of the series, and it was a bit difficult to get all the hints to previous stories and remember what happened there. But I think I got it 50% or something like that. Definitely enough to understand the story and follow the main plot throughout the story and follow the romance plot from Munro and Ren, or Karani. And it was a typical enemies to lovers trope. They couldn't stand each other in the beginning, or she couldn't stand him. That is more correct. She is a hunter for mythical creatures, and he is a mythical creature. He's a vampire. No, he's not a vampire. He is a werewolf. And as he saw her first, he knows directly she's the one, she's my mate, and she is mine. And that's the main theme throughout the whole story. She is mine. I owe her. I can make all the decisions for our future life, no matter what she thinks, and because of that, Munro was a really big red flag for me, because I can't stand this behavior. And Ren tells him so many times that he can't make this decision alone to make her immortal, because she is a human in the beginning of the story. And he says from the beginning that Ren has to be immortal for this relationship to work, and there is no other decision to make. And it doesn't really matter what she says and what's her reasons to be mortal, and why she doesn't want to be immortal and make this change. And yeah, really big flag, as I said. And then the change came really quickly throughout one chapter for both of them, that she thinks he is right, which he is not. She should have something to say in this situation, so he is not right. And yeah, in the same chapter, Munro decides that he wants to be mortal if she doesn't want to be immortal. And there's a lot going on. We have a big change in pacing in the story at this point, and I didn't really like that because the pacing was really slow throughout the first half, and then it changed because a lot of things happened in the second half of the story, and I really wished we had more time to go through these things in detail and can really process these things. But yeah, we haven't had the time through reading, and it was all a little bit fast for me in the end. We have a lot of hints to the main plot that goes throughout the whole series, and I can't wait to read more. In between, I thought I would DNF the series at this point because I wasn't really interested in Munro's and Ren's story, and It was just okay, but then the main plot got more and more important, and yeah, I'm really interested in that and want to see how this goes on. So I will be continuing this series. The next books are not translated to German, so I will switch now the language and continue the series in English. The next book is a novella with a spooky theme around Halloween. So this will be my next read, even if Halloween is now over. And the next full book, I think, comes out in December. So I will hopefully continue that then. Maybe for the next final chapter vlog, we will see. But for this week, this is it. I've read 2 English books, 3 German books. Didn't enjoy them as much as I thought, but I'm okay with that. And I will continue both series throughout the next month, so throughout November, because these were my last reads from my October TBR, even if I read this book mostly in November, because we had now the first November weekend. And that weekend I was in Hamburg, as I told at the beginning of this update. And I was in Hamburg from Friday to Sunday with my sister and my brother-in-law. And on Saturday we visited Hercules the musical, and it was so worth it. I really love musicals, and even if this musical was not my highest rating, because a lot of the time the orchestra oversounded the singers and you couldn't really understand what they were singing. That was a bit disappointing, but all in all I loved the musical and it was really good, and I loved the singers and actors and all of that. And before we saw the musical, we did a backstage tour through the whole location, and they explained to us parts of the special effects and how this all works behind the scenes, and that was really cool. And I loved that my sister booked that last minute. Walked a little bit through Hamburg, through the city. I went a little bit shopping and bought one new book, which is White Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Give me 1 second. This is the book I bought. It is just a tiny novella, or 2 tiny novellas. So just around 100 pages and really tiny. This is a normal paperback, and yeah, we see it is smaller. I'm really interested in reading this and had this on my wish list for a few months now. And I wanted this edition, and they had this in a bookstore in Hamburg. So I bought it and I can't wait to read it now. It is my first classic book in English, so we will see how that goes. I've read the first 4 pages or so while I was in Hamburg, and it was readable for me, so that is a good sign. And maybe I will read this now in November, maybe in December, we will see, but I want to read it this year. And yeah, that's it for this week, for this vlog. And please tell me in the comments, have you visited a musical before, and which musical was it and how did you like it? I visited a lot of musicals in the past and I want to see more. You can see I'm a really big fan of musicals, and I think my favorite musicals are Wicked, Hamilton, The Lion King and Frozen. I love them all so much, and yeah, can't wait to see more. Like the video, follow my channel if you wanna, and with that I will see you next time. Bye!